Well, it's a brilliantly inventive piece. Dave Merrick and myself have been working together for nearly 20 years now, and we've been great friends, great musical, I would like to think, enthusiasts. We've got a lot of shared interests, and certain things make us very, very exciting, like the music of Stravinsky and Bartók, and experimental music, interesting projects, of which we've now done several. And this is a brilliant new world premiere, a six-movement work that explores some of that history and looks forward too. Well, all premieres are interesting. I mean, this is the first time, so whatever happens after this is how the piece comes to life. And of course, that can always be a nerve-wracking process, and interesting things can happen, and we might have to readjust and regroup. But we know the piece well enough, and I guaranteed a brilliant premiere tonight, a really, really, really strong one. I've enjoyed every rehearsal, and it's looking really good.
No problem. So you mentioned that you and David go back quite a long way. What is it you think makes you both such an effective team?
Well, I'm a big fan of Dave's. I'm a big Dave Merrick groupie. I love his music. Very early on, before he was really doing composed music, I heard some of the things that he'd thrown together before his first sort of official scores, if you like, his first commissioned music. And I just got a real buzz from his energy and sort of unique flair and originality. And hopefully I can bring something to his music. I mean, I do relate to the precision involved, and also the kind of weirdness of the music is perhaps something I relate to. So it's a great big package of inventfulness, and that really appeals to me.
You're also on pretty good terms with James Macmillian, the man that made all of this possible. Can you tell me a little bit more about your work with him?
Well, I first met Jimmy when I was 13 years old. So he would be considerably younger than I am now. I've always liked his music. The first piece of his I heard was The Confession of Isabel Gaudi at the 1990 proms. And when I heard his percussion concerto, I think that was also a very, very inspiring thing for me. When I was 15, I decided that I really wanted to play that piece, and it was very, very inspiring for me. And I got to play it a few years later and meet Jimmy quite a bit more through performances of that piece. More recently, he wrote me a new piece, second percussion concerto, which is a piece very, very dear to me, very close to my heart, beautiful piece. So it's an ongoing collaboration, and we're not done yet.
Excellent. Glad to hear it. So how have you prepared for tonight's performance?
Well, there's been a lot of careful practice for this piece. The solo part for Dave's concerto is very, very difficult, although I really don't want it to sound like it. It should sound pretty hip and sort of happening and just kind of send it out there. But there's a lot going on behind the scenes. There's a lot of notes, and most of them are pretty tricky to grab. So I've done a lot of careful practice at home.
Awesome. Well, I also picked up that you went to Newcomnock and visited a primary school to carry a music workshop. I'm quite interested in how you maybe feel that your contemporary spin on classical music may make classical music a bit more accessible for younger people. Is that something you believe?
Yeah. Well, there's an odd sort of hazy mist before classical music for some people, and in some ways I do understand why that is there, because of certain mistakes made by the establishments, especially, I would say in the second half of the 20th century, it became a little bit elitist. But the music itself is not elitist at all. It's extremely accessible. Everyone can jump in, and it's the most wonderful musical art form that there is, I feel. So in that way, I feel no boundaries. But I think this festival is yet again another context to present this kind of music. Tonight we have Mozart and a Dave Merrick premiere, so there's a bit of everything there, and something for everyone to latch onto and make people think and to make people explore other pieces.